Okay, let's dive into this. Would you ever consider living inside an active volcano? Right? Most of us would absolutely run the other way. But today, we're exploring communities that look at completely impossible odds and just say, you know what, we're staying. So let's start with a place that quite literally has nowhere to go but up.
The ultimate danger zones. Welcome to Yanjian, China. This city is entirely, and I mean completely, boxed in. On one side, you've got these sheer, towering mountains, right? And on the exact opposite side, this rushing, relentless river. There is zero room to breathe here, let alone actually expand a city.
Now, what's really fascinating about this setup is that while your average city has, sprawling suburbs and tons of space, Yanjian is literally just 30 meters wide in a lot of places. 30 meters! It is the world's narrowest city, and yet over 100,000 people wake up here every single day, just surviving the constant, looming threat of upstream flash floods and terrifying rock falls from the cliffs directly above them. Nature basically gave them a tiny crease in the earth, and they somehow built a metropolis.
Talk about life on the edge. Imagine waking up here. This is the Hanging Temple in China. I have to ask, could you stomach looking down from there? Because honestly, just glancing over the edge of this thing is enough to make anyone's legs turn to absolute jelly.
70 meters. This 1,500-year-old architectural marvel is suspended a dizzying 70 meters straight up on a sheer cliff face. It seriously looks like a strong gust of wind could just knock the whole shebang right down, doesn't it? But actually, it's anchored incredibly deep into the rock and propped up by these super long wooden pillars. You might be wondering, why on earth build it way up there? Well, to completely escape the devastating floods and earthquakes that regularly hit the valley below.
Moving on to the frozen frontier. From towering cliffs, we are heading to the absolute frozen extremes. Welcome to Longyearbyen, way up in Norway's Svalbard archipelago. This place is an endless winter wonderland, or nightmare, depending on how you look at it, built directly on top of totally unforgiving permafrost.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how extreme daily life actually gets out here. First off, you've got 24/7 winter darkness that literally lasts for months on end. Then, you're sharing your neighborhood with roaming polar bears. Actually, carrying a firearm if you step outside of town is completely mandatory. But the most shocking reality of all, honestly, no joke, dying is prohibited. Seriously. The permafrost is so intensely freezing that bodies simply will not decompose, making burials scientifically impossible.
Now, bringing our whole journey full circle back to that wild question I asked you at the very beginning, inside an active volcano, we're heading to Aogashima, Japan. Guys, this isn't just a village kind of near a volcano. No, this village sits directly inside the crater of a double caldera. That's a massive volcanic crater with another smaller one sitting right smack in the middle of it. Just 200 people call this giant, steaming bowl in the middle of the Pacific Ocean home. Their isolation is absolute. You can only get there by helicopter or a really small boat. And get this, they actually survived a catastrophic eruption back in 1785, entirely evacuated the island, and then they just came back. Lured in by that super fertile volcanic soil, they actively choose every single day to stay in what is often called the most dangerous village in the world. So the crucial point is this. We don't obsess over these extreme places just because they're strange or dangerous. We look at them because they tell such an awe-inspiring story about human resilience in the face of incredibly unforgiving nature. These people took literally the most hostile environments on planet Earth and somehow built a home. Which leaves me with one final pretty big question for you. Of all these extreme danger zones we just talked about, which one would you actually dare to visit?